everyone, it's Kelly with kellyscards.ca and welcome to this third card in my everyday card kit number 13. So there's lots of pieces in this card. We will be building upon this piece here, which I have embossed with this really nice pattern with these flowers. And I've got a couple of pieces here. I've got this really nice color that will accent nicely, and then you'll see this piece here. So I embossed for us the sentiment, "You make me smile," and we're going to add it straight to this piece here of this purple cardstock. I'm going to take this piece now and put it into the center. And I can kind of use my grid lines there to kind of help me out with trying to get it as centered as possible. Once I've got that in there, I can use my bone folder to just push it down. And now I can take this piece, and this piece will go on top of here. Now what I really like about this card was we're going to border it a little bit. We're going to have this piece here which has been embossed, and we're going to put that there, and then this piece was punched, and we're going to move that like that, and we're going to kind of move around the placement of things until we have it perfect, and then we'll start sticking things down. So I've got that on there, and then I'm going to bring in this. Let's maybe do this first. We will attach this here. Now this little image is just going to add a little bit of a backdrop for our butterfly. And we're going to layer it up first on the purple, and then we're going to layer it on top of the craft scallop mat. And that is going to look good. Now you can see that the purple is really going to come out from that, and we're going to be putting the butterfly on this. And like I said, this will add a little bit of a backdrop for this butterfly. So I'm going to bring this piece back in now. And this is going to sit upon here, and we're going to have the butterflies. Now you can pick whichever butterfly you want on top. There's the two different colors. They're meant to accent each other. I like to layer things up like this just to give a little bit of color variance, and when that sits you will see both colors. Now to finish off kind of the look, I'm going to add this ribbon down here. So I think what we should do first is put this piece down, the bigger piece, and I'm going to use some score tape because I'm going on top of the embossed paper, and I really want to make sure that it is stuck onto the embossed paper. Sometimes when you stick other things onto embossed paper, you have to make sure it gets on there really well by using a better adhesive, and to just make sure it's on there well. So this was about here, and I'm just going to pick this up so I can make sure I get it right onto the side of this card, so it's nice and even. And I'm just going to use my bone folder there again. I want it to stay put on this embossed paper. I'm going to bring this top piece in now, and I'm going to use the score tape because it's nice and thin and it won't be messy. A wet glue on this type of a accent, I don't know if I would really recommend that. A dry adhesive like the double-sided tape or the tape runner might be a little bit easier to use for this. I think the wet glue would be a little bit too messy. The dry adhesive, that works really nice. So now we've got that on there, and just look at the little bit of accent that gives. So now before we add this piece here, I want to make sure there's enough room for this ribbon. And I might want to put, I think we're going to put this punched part just a little bit down. We're not going to snug it right up to the mat like we did on the first one. We're gonna just do it a little bit down so that there's room for that ribbon, and as you can see I'm leaving a little bit of a gap there, and the ribbon will go across there. Okay, now I'm going to add my ribbon, and I'm going to place it down like this and just flip over this end and add this with a piece of tape. And I'm going to flip the other side and pull it straight, and then flip this over. Maybe before I do that, I will just cut a little bit of this extra ribbon off, and I'll add this tape here. And now I really like how that ribbon just accents the card like that. I'm going to attach my butterflies just together so I can get a better look at how this is coming together. I'm going to add some multi-matte medium right to the butterfly here, right in the center, and that's the only place I'm going to have the adhesive, is in the center here. And now I'll put these are identical die cuts, just one slightly a different shade, and I'm just going to push this now here down. Now these butterflies are together, and I've just kind of played around with the top one a little bit to kind of just help it to raise a little bit off of the second. You can see there that one is slightly a little bit more curved, the top one. And when we put this on, that will just help give it a little bit more dimension, and we'll be able to see that other color in behind now. So it's time to put this piece onto the card base, and I'm going to use my score tape now on the back so we can get this put together. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to make sure that that is really down and really on the paper there. Again, using embossed paper, I love using embossed paper. It just needs a little bit more pressure to make sure that it gets down, and things that are being attached to it are actually stuck on. So I'll bring my card base in now, and it is the same white. And once I get that put down, I can use my bone folder again just to make sure it is adhered there. And I like how that is coming together. So now it is time to get our image on here. I have again added a piece of foam to the back. You can use pop dots, or you can lay your image flat, but I really like always putting the images up on something dimensional. It just helps the whole card. And now this piece is going to come in, and I'm just going to make sure that this is good and centered and that my points are up and down. You see the points, just make sure they're straight up and down. So I think that looks good, and I'm going to push this on now, and now I'll be able to bring my butterfly in, and I'm going to use again some of the multi-matte medium. You can use whatever wet glue or a tape runner, whatever you want on this step, and we're just going to put it again mostly in the middle. I'm going to do a little bit along the outsides here, just a little bit, just to make sure that it's on there well. And now I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to make sure it is perfectly placed. Again, with this point, I can use that as a reference. And then, of course, the point at the top, I'm going to make sure that that's nice and even where it's placed. I want to hold this down now just to make sure it is really adhered on here. And again, we're not adhering any other parts of the butterfly, mainly just this middle section. I have 6 bling. There's 3 in one color, 3 in the other. You can have a choice of mixing them up to define the inside of your butterfly, or you can put 3 there and 3 somewhere else. I'm going to take one of the dark ones now, and they are pretty tiny, but they're actually like the perfect size for this butterfly. And I'm just going to peel it off. I'm going to grab it by my nail, I'm just going to put the next one now. That's the next color. This is a little bit more tricky to do than just pull them off and put them all on. And I'm going to go now with the darker one. So I'm doing dark, light, dark, light. And there is that next color, and then I'm going back with the dark one, and I put the dark one on now, and you just want to make sure that it's nice and straight. And the last one is the light colored one, and I'll just put that on there, and I'll give them all a little bit of a push down here. And as you can see, that looks really nice. It just helps define the inside of that butterfly. It makes it stand out just a little bit more. So now, just to finish off the inside of this card, we can bring in our white mat. And we'll just add this to this card. So that will finish off this third card. I really like the colors in this card, love this purple, and using these two purples together really helped kind of bring a little bit more color into this card, and this ribbon actually matched it perfectly. Love this embossed sentiment on here, "You make me smile." It's pretty much a good card for so many reasons. You can always put another sentiment inside the card if you want. So I really love this card and love the punch and embossed elements as well. So I hope you enjoyed this third card. You can check me out on my website at kellyscards.ca. You can subscribe for more videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.